Hey, what's going on, good people? Welcome to Russ Can't Fly. All right, so it's time to make this happen. I gotta practice. Man, I'm telling you, this check ride has got a brother shook. I'm telling you, it's crazy. But you know what? I'm getting dialed in, and I'm really beginning to believe in myself. And I basically am feeling that way because of all the support that I'm getting from you folks. And so I definitely want to give a shout out to every person who has been on the Russ Can Fly journey with me from the beginning. You guys have made the difference and the reason why I've hung in there all of this time. And so now I'm not going to do a whole long introduction. I got to get busy. I got to get in this plane because the check ride is coming. Can you believe that? Crazy. So anyway, without further ado, I got to get, pre-flight and all that kind of stuff because my CFI will be out here. So time to make it happen. Let's go fly. Let's get it. Wings field, Cessna 91 Quebec Sierra, taxiing from the upper ramp for runway 6 wings. So you can tell by the title of this video that something is up. And I gotta tell you, this aviation journey, this journey to get my private pilot's license has been such an eye-opening, inspiring, frustrating, scary, life-affirming, just so many things about it. It's really hard to explain. But one of the things that happens is you are completely out of control as it relates to how you're going to progress. There is no linear relationship between your want or need and what actually happens during this experience. And so I am sorry to announce that my check ride has been postponed. And I am just going to take the time to explain it now and show you visually in this flight lesson why that is. The short explanation is this airplane that I'm flying now, 901 Quebec Sierra, had a cylinder issue. Apparently, so the engines have 4 cylinders. The compressions are important. I think most of them were in the 70s out of 80. The one cylinder was like 20 or something like that. So they had to put in a new cylinder for the engine, which means the airplane was down for a couple weeks, and then there was a break-in period for the new cylinder, which means that from the last video you saw where I was all excited that I think I was dialed in, I hadn't flown for 3 weeks until this flight. And during this flight, it was very obvious that losing that 3 weeks was definitely impactful on doing my check ride tomorrow. And so rather than get to this point and try to rush it, I had to make the decision, and my CFI was already hinting, but he wanted me to come to terms and come to grips with the reality that I probably would benefit from regaining that 3 weeks back, doing the training that I need, really get dialed in again like I was right around June 3rd, and reschedule the check ride. Absolutely devastating. But at the same time, it has taught me a huge lesson about making hard choices about what makes sense in terms of aviation decision making. I gotta tell you, I want to do my check ride tomorrow, but it just would not be smart because more likely than not, my CFI would have to make the decision for me, which he doesn't want to do. But even if he was inclined to let me do it, to say, I told you so, I would probably fail. And I don't think he wants that failure on my record, number one. And number two, he doesn't want me to have to deal with the fact that I didn't pass. So I'm going to show you a few of the maneuvers that I got really rusty. And yeah, you say 3 weeks. Really? But yeah, that's all it's taken. And I'm already, completely at my wit's end with nerves and all that kind of stuff. So you factor in nerves and unknowns and things that we really hadn't done and things that we probably should do, like flying to the airport as opposed to be driving there. Just a whole host of things just made it, made sense for me to just go ahead and postpone the check ride. So yes, I am heartbroken as I send this video out to you all, but I am going to be of good cheer because I already know that the victory is won. This is just a speed bump. I know you guys are all pulling for me. So no more blathering. Let me show you a few of the maneuvers and you will see it's probably wise that I postpone my check ride.
Wing traffic 901 Quebec Sierra departing runway 6, left turn out to the north wings. Alright, we got our 6 there, and I see 6 on the field. Alright, here we go. Heels to the floor, full power. Alright, engine instruments in the green. Oil temp, oil pressure, more right rudder. Whoa. Airspeed is aligned and rotate. Nose it down a little bit. Wings traffic, left turn out to the north, last call wings.
We got your call sign there. There's like kind of like the little Russ.
Yeah.
So do you notice how I'm fumbling over like some of the basic stuff? Like, just announcing that I'm departing the runway, announcing that I'm about to do what I'm going to do once I do take off, forgetting my call sign, my tail number. It was just like, what's going on? And the thing that was really going on in my mind is, as soon as I got in the airplane, I knew that this was one of 2 lessons that I was going to have before my check ride. And so as far as I was concerned, I needed this flight lesson to be perfect. And so what I'm striving for here is perfection. And what I'm doing basically is putting way too much pressure on myself. And you can see that right at the beginning, things aren't where they need to be. And so this was definitely some foreshadowing of how this lesson was going to go, and ultimately basically not feeling confident myself, and definitely not having my CFI have confidence that I was ready to even think about doing the check ride. But let's continue. You'll see more of this stuff kind of pop up.
Alright, let's do steep turns here at 3,000 feet, alright?
Alright, steep turn, we're going to stay at 3,000 feet. Alright, I'm going to configure and then do my
Wing traffic, Diamond 742 Delta Sierra is on the left downwind for runway 6. We're making left traffic. Wings traffic Sierra 3 left on Golf Alpha departing area to the west wing.
looking for 95.
So as you can see, I'm having like these like brain freezes or something. Like I can't even finish thoughts, you know. So what I was trying to say was, okay, I'm going to configure the airplane and then I'm going to do clearing turns. Now, I'm hearing a very wise pilot by the name of Bill Bellinger in my ear saying, Russ, clearing turns. Do those clearing turns, like basically just saying don't clearing turns and configure while I'm doing my clearing turns. Like clearing turns, like that's that should be like almost like a reflex. Like the DPE or my CFI or whomever, okay, do steep bank turns. All right, I'm gonna do clearing turns. Like that should be the first thing out of my mouth. And as you can see, I just fumbled right there, like even before we get to the maneuver. And so yeah, so it's these little things, like those are the little things that would have, you know, tripped me up. So yeah.
All right, to the right.
Traffic, Diamond 742 Delta Sierra, fine.
All right, so I've probably said this many times, so just watch the quality of this turn, and just want to watch the difference between the front of the plane, the nose of it, the ground, and the horizon. It should stay consistent. And as you can see, there's down, there's up. Now it's kind of too high. Now it's going down, and it's just inconsistent. You know, and I have a problem going to the right, but now I'm way too low. This turn to the right is not that good at all.
Lost more than 100.
Get back up to 3,000. Try it again. So, yeah, right. So you got too slow too as well. You got to 80. You weren't coordinated, and you weren't at your altitude. So let's get up to 3,000. Remember to add power as you get into the turn. Get into that bank, right? Get into that 45 degrees of bank. Add power as you're getting into the turn. All right. Not yet. Don't start it yet.
Okay.
Right. Take your time. Take your time, because look, we're at 80 knots. We're not at our altitude.
Yeah.
All right, so it's at this point that I'm in trouble. I am so much in my head that, you see, I wasn't even paying attention to my instruments. I didn't realize that I was still too slow after that botched steep bank turn to the right. I was still too low. I hadn't set myself back up, and I was getting ready to go back into the turn, because now I'm in this kind of space of desperation. Like, I've got to do this. I got to do this. I got to do this. And it's just, now I'm tight. I'm not enjoying myself. This is not fun. I'm worried. I'm getting nervous. It's just, you know, it's just at this point like, wow, dude, you are in kind of bad shape.
Upper edge, right? Upper edge. Get that nose down a little bit.
Hey, try to hook up to tempo 1 down, 3.5 left downwind, runway 6.
You're too far low. Alright, let's go right to the right. Coordinated everything. Don't pitch up yet, don't pitch up yet. Pitch up now, pitch up, pitch up. Speed's good. Pitch is good. Too high, a little too... No, you're good, actually, you're good.
Mama traffic.
Down, nose down, nose down, nose down.
45.
Remember, take your nose down as you're taking the bank out.
Yeah.
So you got too high on both of those technically, right?
Yeah.
The reason you got high on the first one was because you, what do you call it, pulled up too early.
Yeah.
Alright? Alright. Real quick, let me see. You lost your engine.
Okay. Alright.
Diamond 742.
So I'm not going to belabor this video because, you know, again, it's a unusual, rare upload Wednesday video, so I don't want it to go on too long, but you get the idea. This particular maneuver that I'm doing right now, I'm doing a simulated engine out, so the power is to idle, that the propeller is not producing any thrust. And so I am basically preparing myself to crash land. Suffice it to say, I actually went through this procedure. I hit my best glide, although it took me a while to get there. I picked the field where I was going to land. And you can see I'm explaining the direction that I'm going to land in, which was the right way, given the winds. And so all of this I did pretty well. And so it was just this really mixed bag of, you know, some things I did okay or well, but things were like when I messed up, you know, I messed up bad. Like those steep bank turns, again, I talked about the ACS standards or the Airman certification standards in which you have to do those maneuvers, and I busted them like badly, like not just plus or minus 100. I mean, to the right, I think I lost 150 feet of altitude, and I think I went from 95, my speed was 70, and it has to be plus or minus 10. So you get the picture. So it was pretty clear to me that I was just rusty. I mean, it's not that I can't do it, it's just that I wasn't performing because it's been 3 weeks, and that was just too long. So yeah, so as you're watching this video and listening to me, I'm bummed pretty badly that I will not be taking my check ride tomorrow. However, I am even more committed now because I'm kind of motivated by this temporary valley that I'm in, because there are too many of you praying for me, cheering me on, for me to stay in a place of defeat. I will do that check ride. I will pass that check ride. I will become a licensed private pilot. Period. Full stop. And so, you know, I just wanted to share this because, again, I want to be transparent about the entire journey, and this is a part of it. So what I'll do is we'll go to the crash landing. Like I said, the engine is out, and then I'll end this video. Thank you all so much for being there for me, for being in my corner, and for all the prayers and support. So I'm going to run on and see what the end's going to be, as my grandmother would say. All right, let's land this baby.
At least I didn't kill us that time.
We made it. We're alive. That was really good. Really good, right?
Thank you.
That was really good. Just I shouldn't have to remind you to do like the mixtures. Like that's like as soon as you find the best place to land, you're trying to get that engine started, right? You shouldn't just accept your fate and to be like, okay, the engine's out. I need to put it somewhere, right?
Right.
We had enough time to like try and troubleshoot, right? When we say troubleshoot, you got to actually do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Okay, so I have to admit, so theoretically my check ride is next week, right? So it's Thursday as I'm filming this. I got a week to get my act together. So I have one more flight lesson and another ground school on Saturday. And after that performance today, I don't think I'm ready. And that kind of hurts, but at the same time, it's just like, you know what? I've been at this. Why rush it now? So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait until tomorrow and I'm going to do that flight lesson and see how that goes. But my thinking is, and my CFI doesn't feel confident either that I'm ready. So I think it's going to be in my best interest to go ahead and, you know, push that check ride back. So, you know, I told you I was going to show you the good, the bad, the ugly, and, you know, that last flight where I was hitting the numbers and all that kind of stuff, man, I was feeling good. I felt like I could have done my check ride that day. But definitely shook my confidence a little bit today. Just didn't, you know, hit everything I need to do. So I don't know. But this is all part of the journey, the ups and downs. And that 3-week layoff between the last time I flew to now, that really just didn't help. So at any rate, it's been a tough day today, but better day tomorrow. So thank you for being on this journey with me. If you have not subscribed to the channel yet, please do so. I really appreciate the encouragement, the prayers, and the support. All right, Russ Kid, Russ Can Fly, I'm out. See ya.